All right, I'm going to put AI to the test. If you are totally new to my channel, new to me, first, I am Kate All. I'm the owner of Simple Pin Media. We are a Pinterest marketing agency, and we've been doing Pinterest now for 11 years for our clients. So I take all that I'm learning and working with clients, and I bring it here to you, to YouTube, and to our podcast, which is also streamed here on YouTube. With the development of AI, a lot of people ask me questions about how I feel about it, what I think about AI images, and I recorded a podcast that I think you should go watch, and I'll link to it below, where I basically say that there is an ethical use and there is an unethical use, and that those who have people-first businesses do have a responsibility to use AI ethically and responsibly in order to speed up their time, in order to make their Pinterest marketing more efficient. But those who have found a loophole, I believe it's a little bit more sketchy and black hat. And I think those methods will definitely be something that's shut down pretty soon, but only time will tell. So that being said, how can we use AI to help our Pinterest strategy and to give us a really good plan for what we're going to be doing with our Pinterest marketing? So that's what I'm going to break down for you today. So I actually did just that. I went to Chat GPT and I said, give me a strategy. So I want to break it down, interrogate it. I took all my notes here, and we're going to walk through whether or not this is something that you can trust to have it develop a strategy for you. Where's the holes? What are the things you need to fill in with an actual human? And what are the things that you can do to actually bring support to your business? So let's start at the top with my question. So I asked Chat GPT, can you give me a Pinterest strategy for my e-commerce business? Here's what Chat GPT had to say. Absolutely. A solid Pinterest strategy can help drive traffic and sales for your e-commerce business by leveraging its visual search engine capabilities. Here's a step-by-step guide. So I'm going to walk you through the steps to see, did they get it right? 1, you want to optimize your profile. We are in 100% agreement right there. If you are just starting with Pinterest marketing and you have not looked at your profile, you have not set it up, this is definitely the place to start. And I'm glad that ChatGPT started with this. You need to get a business account. You need to have a profile picture. You need to have a bio, and you need to claim your website. Spot on. These are really important things you need to do. In fact, we have a settings guide here on our channel. I'll link to it below, so you can go through and get your profile set up the right way. It's not super difficult. Doing all of this is probably going to take you about an hour. Number 2, it told me to research my keywords. Very smart. So even before I have launched into creating images, creating anything else, it is telling me figure out what keywords you're going to target. So it says Pinterest functions like a search engine. Use Pinterest search bar to find relevant keywords by typing phrases and noting autocomplete suggestions. Include those keywords in your profile, your board titles, your pin descriptions, and the alt text. 2 things they missed in that of where to put your keywords would be also your board descriptions and also your pin title. But so far, ChatGPT is 2 for 2. All right, number 3, create and organize your boards. Shameless plug here, but if you want help with this, creating and organizing your boards, we have a guide for you. It's really inexpensive. I'll link to it below if you need to set up your Pinterest account and kind of get a walkthrough with that. So they suggest organizing your boards by themes. So grouping boards around product categories, audience interest, or seasonal themes. Example would be holiday gift ideas or sustainable fashion. Make sure you add descriptions. And they said pin balance. Pin both your content and relevant third-party content to keep boards active. I disagree. I never tell people to pin other people's content. So I would say this is a miss. Now they are 2 and 1. So they're doing pretty good. But whenever you see people talking about pinning other people's content, the only time we suggest that you do that is when you're pinning maybe a colleague's content, or you need to fill up your board with some really supportive content. But it's not an important factor. You can go ahead and pin 100% of your pins 100% of the time, and you will be just fine. Number 4, moving on to image design. So they want you to design high quality pins. 100%, 10 out of 10. They give the right ratio, which needs to be vertical 2 to 3 or 1000 by 1500, a branded design, which includes your logo or your URL for consistency, a captivating text overlay, add attention-grabbing headlines over images, and number 4, if you use product pins, also use rich pins to include pricing and availability automatically. So if you're new to Pinterest marketing and you're reading this and you're like, okay, I need to create a Pinterest image, it needs to be 2 to 3, it needs to be vertical, but that's really awesome. But where do these product pins come into play? Maybe you've only seen product pins on Pinterest and they're boxes, they're squares. So let me do a quick lesson for you here. And then I'll also link to below Pinterest images for dummies. We have that so you can follow that through. Okay, let me go through these 3 types of images. We have a standard pin, also sometimes called a static pin, meaning it doesn't move, right? It's just a standalone image. Then we have a video pin. This is a short form video, literally less than a minute. And then we have product pins, and there's a bonus one there called carousel pins. I'll link below again to that video that we did. We don't use those very often. They're most often leveraged in Pinterest ads. So the fact that they list product pins here is interesting because the only way to get product pins is if you connected your shop catalog. So it is important because I asked ChatGPT to give me a whole e-commerce strategy for Pinterest. So product pins are key to making sure that you get your updated inventory and your updated pricing of your products on Pinterest. But just make sure you have your catalog connected. We have a whole e-commerce video series here, so go ahead and watch that after we're done if you want to learn more. So it looks like ChatGPT is 3 and 1. Our next suggestion that they give us is post consistently. Aim for 10 to 20 pins per day, mixing fresh and repinned content. Use a scheduler like Tailwind to plan posts and maintain consistency. We really love Tailwind around here. It's a tool that we've used forever, so I love that ChatGPT is bringing this up. We did a great interview with the CEO of Tailwind here on the channel as well, all about their benchmark study that they did, analyzing 1 million pins. It was pretty awesome. But I agree with posting consistently, but 10 to 20, while a good range, if you're new to Pinterest and you are trying to figure out how this all works, it's really okay for you to do to 5 pins a day. You're trying to get into the habit of being consistent. So I do like that ChatGPT has called out post consistently because that is important. So 4 and 1 here. And number 6 that they have is leveraging seasonal and trending content. Use Pinterest Trends tool to discover popular topics and align your pins with them. Start posting seasonal content 45 to 60 days in advance to gain traction. 10 out of 10, this is true. We always recommend this to people. People come to us right before Valentine's Day, February 10th, and they're like, okay, I got to get my Valentine's Day content onto Pinterest. Nope, you're too late. You want to do 30 to 45 days in advance. It doesn't mean you can't pin that really great idea about Valentine's Day on February 10th. It just means it's not going to get a lot of traction probably until next year. So be thinking in advance when you're creating content to get ahead of the seasonal moments. 7. Now we're getting into Pinterest ads. Use Pinterest ads to promote pins for high converting products or lead magnets. Experiment with ad formats like standard pins, video pins, and shopping ads. This is going to be next level for people who have already mastered the basics of organic Pinterest marketing. Your profile is set up, you have a business account, you've really nailed your images, you know what keywords you're targeting. I highly recommend you step into Pinterest ads. But if you want to stop at like number 6 here that ChatGPT has given you, totally fine. That is a really good, solid, organic, non-paid Pinterest strategy. It's really, really effective. But if you want to take it to the next level, then you go into paid ads. Number 8. I think is really important for both Pinterest ads as well as organic non-paid marketing. And that is to optimize your landing pages. Basically, Pinterest is a traffic driving tool. It brings people from Pinterest to your website. So if when they are getting to your website, they're like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to purchase this product. I don't even know how to find out more about it. Then it's a missed opportunity. So you want to look at that page through fresh eyes, optimize it as if you are a pinner coming from Pinterest. What do they want to know about your product? How do you build the know, like, and trust factor once they land on that particular listing or that particular piece of content? Ensure links to high quality landing pages are optimized for conversions, and you can go ahead and use UTMs to track Pinterest traffic in Google Analytics. Now that is a whole nother lesson. So if you're new to Pinterest and you just heard me say UTM and you're like, I have no idea what that means, that's okay. Don't worry about it, right? We'll cover that in the future and in an advanced video. I think it's something really important. But essentially what this is saying is that start to begin to create a tracking regimen. Hey there, sorry for the interruption, but this is something that I don't always talk about in every video, so I want to make sure you know. We have a Pinterest keyword planning guide that covers over 10 plus categories and niches. It has so much information there that will not only inspire you to use new Pinterest keywords, but also might help you inspire creating content. So what's inside? We have tons and tons of pages of keyword ideas, how to use and not use keywords, some seasonal and non-seasonal keyword ideas, plus a place to brainstorm and take notes. And it's yours totally free. Click on the link below in the description to get the free keyword guide and begin getting started on really creating a great SEO plan for Pinterest. Okay, back to the video. Is your marketing working or not working? I think this is really important for everybody to evaluate because you want to know if your efforts are actually making a difference. So I'm going to give you a quick high level way that you can do this. Create a spreadsheet. I want you to track 3 things: outbound clicks, saves, and impressions. On the first of the month, I want you to look back at the 30 or 31 days previous, and I want you to write down those numbers. By the way, you can find all of this information in Pinterest Analytics. It's super easy to find. So just click around, create your spreadsheet. That's what I've done. I don't have anything fancy. I do use Google Analytics and I have used some advanced tracking techniques, but for the most part, you just want to track once a month whether or not it's working or not. Number 10, this is actually number 9, engage with your audience. Respond to comments and questions on your pins, follow relevant users, influencers, and brands to build a network. This is a miss. So I think it's important for you to comment back to anybody who leaves an authentic comment. That 100% is so important. But when it comes to love this or spammy comments, or sometimes you can get things that are a little sketchy, don't worry about commenting back. But you do want to have natural engagement. However, people on Pinterest also, they're going through Pinterest because they don't want anyone to talk to them. They are sitting there and they're like, this is my plan. This is my quiet time. This is my introvert time. I am not interested in anybody talking to me. In fact, why are you commenting on my pin? Why are you talking to me? It's how the regular user works. So again, comment when it's authentic, comment back to people, especially if you are in the food creation space or you have a really great product that people are saying they've tried and they loved it, definitely comment back. The second part about following, followers are not an important metric on Pinterest. In fact, we're going to do a video coming up where I'm going to show you some of our client examples and how the follower number never translates into having more traffic or sales from Pinterest. Almost never. In fact, I high glanced at some of the data before we started here, and we have a client who only has about 8,000 followers and is getting over 200 sessions per month from Pinterest. It's like mind blowing. And then we have somebody who has 200,000 followers on Pinterest and they're only getting 50,000 sessions a month from Pinterest. So all that to say, followers don't matter. You don't have to follow, unfollow. You don't have to do any of that. So I think if my record serves me right, we're at 7 and 3 here. So pretty good. Number 10, and the final thing that they gave me was analyze and adapt. Use Pinterest Analytics to track clicks, saves, and conversions. Conversions are something that you get when you connect your shop so you can see if people are buying your products. Identify high-performing pins and replicate their style or strategy. Also really important. Regularly clean up underperforming pins and boards. Not important. Once a pin is pinned, here's what happens. So if you pin something and then I pin it, and then 2 more people pin it and 4 more people pin it, then exponentially it's being pinned on the platform, right? Let's say you hate that pin and you want to delete it. Only you get to delete it. Still lives on my board, still lives on my friend's board. It's out there forever. So it's not really important for you to delete a pin because it's not going to be deleted everywhere else. So you can definitely take and learn from it, especially if you've had a typo. I know a lot of people who have spelled things wrong. Their pin grows crazy. They are mortified that they spelled it wrong. But I'm telling you now, you can't do anything about it. So you just have to kind of let it roll. So don't worry about cleaning up underperforming pins. You can always clean up your boards. We're going to leave a link below to our cleanup and board guide that we can give you. That definitely is important, but don't worry about the others. So far, ChatGPT is actually doing pretty good. But what it demonstrates to me is that you definitely have to do a little cross-referencing and cross-comparison. You have to make sure by checking with experts or asking me, does this align with what I really need to do on Pinterest? Here's the secondary prompt that I gave it. They said to me, would you like help tailoring this strategy to a specific product or audience? Yes, I sell skincare products. Great. Let's refine the Pinterest strategy for your skincare business. Skincare is highly visual and lends itself well to Pinterest aesthetic and educational appeal. Here is a tailored approach. So they took those first 10 steps and they even went a little bit further. And they said, optimize your Pinterest presence for skincare. They gave me profile keywords. They gave me boards to create. And they actually even gave me a brand story to share. That was amazing. They didn't write my brand story, but they gave me the idea to write one. They talked about creating educational and inspiring pins. Content like how-to graphics, how to layer skincare products, 5 benefits of hyaluronic acid. What's the difference between AHA and BHA? There were a ton of really great suggestions. Before and afters and inspirational content. Already, I don't even sell skincare. And this was like so helpful to me because now all of a sudden the time that I would have to spend brainstorming has now been shortened. They told me to focus on keywords for skincare. They made sure that I was going to leverage rich pins for products, which is incredibly important, especially if you have a product that goes in and out of stock often. Seasonal skincare campaigns like best winter moisturizers or SPF must-haves. They did talk about video pins with short tutorials like how to use our vitamin C serum, testimonials, and unboxing experiences from real customers. They definitely talked about Pinterest ads, which I think is important. They talked about partnering with influencers, which is a little bit tough on Pinterest simply because the only way to partner with influencers is if they're doing something on another platform and you want to pull that content in. Also, they talked about hosting giveaways. I like pin your favorite self-care routine, take us and win a skincare set. There's been a lot of debate about, they used to call them pin it to win it giveaways and the legality of those. Some people don't. There is some terms of service on Pinterest, so you want to be cautious with that. We don't see those a lot. They tend to not be super profitable. But if you look at the terms of service and you find that it is something you want to test and you can keep within the legality of what Pinterest says, then of course, by all means, go ahead and do it. And then number 10 is analyze and refine. Track metrics like saves, clicks, and sales conversions for those pins. Test different kinds of content. Now here's where I was going to stop because it said, do you want help designing pins, setting up rich pins, or creating a content calendar for Pinterest? I think if you are struggling with setting up rich pins, you can definitely have it give you instructions. I would double check to make sure those are current. I like the creating content calendar for Pinterest at this point. So I did say, if you want to give me an editorial calendar, I would love it. And it did that. And then it gave me prompts and image directions for Canva. And then it designed a really terrible Pinterest template, like really bad. So I would say ChatGPT is going to excel really well at helping guide you through strategy, through what you want to do. But when you get to that point of images, I would say halt. Now, if you're a DIYer and you're somebody that's going to take your marketing in-house, you're going to make sure this is something that you have complete control over. What I would recommend is that you use ChatGPT on some level to get you started, but then you hire somebody for a consult, especially if you're going to dive into Pinterest ads. It is really important that you consult experts on this so that you don't waste the money and time. So you make sure you get straight to converting for sales. We have excellent results with our clients who have physical products. They are crushing it with Pinterest ads right now compared to Facebook ads. So doing a consult with our team is super smart. It'll get you straight away to optimization that you really need to leverage with your ad campaigns. I did a little bit of cross comparison on looking at what Gemini said, and it was very similar, had different types of words. It kind of went through the same thing. So looking across all AI profiles, it really gave me some good ideas. They also went on to create a 30-day content calendar, which I thought was genius. Again, that shortens your creative time. That shortens the time you're going to be searching for things. And compared with Gemini and Chat GPT was the clear winner for me. But I definitely would check their steps. I think Chat GPT was a little bit more accurate overall. But again, we're not at a 10 out of 10. We're still at like a 7 out of 10. And I found too that some names that got pulled up in Gemini were not consistent with the naming that Pinterest currently has. Things like promoted pins, which promoted pins are on there, but they're two different things. Promoted pins and Pinterest ads, they kind of use them as the same. And then there were some other calls to action like following people, follow, unfollow, which we would never recommend, and a couple other things that were there that just were either outdated practices or things that maybe people teach that they don't know are outdated. So they're pulling from that. But I would say images right now are the one thing that I would hold off on using AI for, simply because I was having this conversation with somebody the other day about the difference between stock images and AI. I think AI images could be really good, but I want to make sure that they really align with your branding and they align with how people can have an authentic connection with your brand, right? So I still think we're on the fence, but I think we're getting there. And I think they'll hopefully will be a great way to create Pinterest images that really help you connect with your audience and sell your products. So I'd love to hear from you. Have you used ChatGPT to create a Pinterest strategy, a content calendar, a business strategy for you? I'd love to hear more. So comment down below. I do answer all of your comments. We check them almost every day or every other day. I love to hear your feedback, what things you want us to record here on the channel. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks so much for watching.